Do we have sound? Do we have sound? Do we have sound? Can you guys hear me? I'll wait. I'll wait. For those of you who are already in here, hopefully you guys went to the link that is in our cord. That is the free pattern. It is by Cuddly Creatures, so I am going to update it just to have that. Perfect, perfect. Yes, you can hear me. Fantastic. All right, we're going to start this. I don't honestly know how much we're going to get through today. I'm hoping we can split this up only into 2 sessions, but we might have to do a third. It's all going to depend on how well everyone catches on and how easy it is to kind of explain it. I'll try to use the pattern so I can teach you guys how to start reading this for yourself. I have about this much yarn. I know firsthand that this is probably going to be more than you need. I think you'll be safe with about this much. I'm just using acrylic, so just grab whatever you have handy. It can be your, your scraps from another project, whatever. I'm using this, I believe, is just a Red Heart generic acrylic. It's great for testing out a pattern. But that is what we used to make this. So if you guys didn't know, this is what we're going to be working on. A chameleon. So there's a lot of different parts about it. We start with the head, we move to the body, we sew directly on the arms and the legs, and then we'll work the tail and then attach that at the end. So there's a few different steps. But I guarantee you we can get through it just as long as we are patient with ourselves and ask questions. Guys, if you guys have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Don't hesitate to ask. Okay, so you'll need that yarn. Let's see. Any 4-weight yarn. I'm going to use my J hook. Nope, this is an I. It's an I, it's a 9, or a 5.5 millimeter. If you don't have that, just use whatever's close. It doesn't need to be exact. Things aren't going to go crazy. I've done this a few times with a few different hooks. Nothing out of the ordinary. You will need polyfill. If you have a pipe cleaner, you're going to want to grab that. It doesn't matter what color the pipe cleaner is because you're going to end up crocheting around it. I think I have full length ones, so I'll definitely use a full length one because this yarn is a little bit thicker. So it will end up becoming a little bit bigger, but I have several pipe cleaners. And eyes. If you have eyes, you're going to want to grab some of those. If not, you can definitely sew some on. It might be a little bit difficult because you might want to make them a little bit bigger, but you can mimic what we do for this section and just make it smaller with single crochets instead of half doubles when we get there, and that will allow you to put a little eye in there. That'll work if you don't have safety eyes. So a few things that you might need. Make sure you have those handy. If you are super new, please head to the description. In the box, I have a free tool. I will pull it up so you guys can see it once I get it pulled up on myself. Alright, so we've got this. Let's make sure it's on the beginner tool and show you guys what we're looking at. This is available for free to anybody. The link is in the description. This is a great tool for beginners. I put it together just so you guys have something to have at your fingertips as you're trying to learn, because this can sound like a different language. First off, this link, I always update it with things. It takes you to all things genetics. So if you guys want to check me out on other platforms, I go live on TikTok Monday through Friday. There's a lot of fun stitch shenanigans there outside of here. But that'll take you to all the things genetics. You have a lot of abbreviations in here, so this is a great tool for anyone that is like, oh my gosh, it gets really overwhelming to know what a back post double crochet is, BPDC, what is all that? Print this off, have it at your hip, just put it down so that way you guys can start venturing out onto patterns and start seeing what else is out there, but you don't always need to wait for me to figure it out. At least this will allow you to start going rogue, as we like to say. The other thing that this has is a few basic stitch symbols so you can start venturing into crochet diagrams. I'm a huge fan of crochet diagrams. I feel like they are in many ways easier to read. Oh, thank you, Wendy. Thank you. In many ways, they are easier to read, and it can be less overwhelming just to get through because it's just a stitch map. It's a stitch map. So that tool is available for you for free. Another thing that's available for you for free is our Discord. I can actually say that here. I'm going to pin that, and that is available in the comments. So if you guys are not in there, it is a great place to go. Our entire crochet community is hanging out in that Discord when someone is not live. So if you are not on TikTok Live, you will find us in there. If you are not on TikTok, you might want to, because we're live there Monday through Friday. You guys can drop by, ask questions anytime you want, and we mess around a lot of there with different patterns and stuff, so it's a really good way to collaborate. But if you're like, nah, I'm good, I like YouTube, this is where I'm comfortable, by all means, when I'm not here on the tutorials responding to questions or stuff like that, you can always get a hold of me in the Cord. It's great. Yeah, I love it too. I love it too, Becky. I love it too. So the pattern has been loaded. We took screenshots and put it in there, I'm not gonna lie, but that was just to make it easier for people to reference. The link to this pattern, it is a free pattern. It's on Ribbler. Again, it is by Cuddly Creatures. She probably has other patterns as well, but the link to that is in the description. So if you guys want to go there and reference it, show some love, please do. I think her pattern is one of the better ones that have been for free that I've seen in a while. And I definitely want to make sure we're giving credit where credit is due. But we're going to be making it, and we're going to work through it together, because I want you guys to learn how to read these patterns. So, if you're ready, grab your yarn, grab your hooks, grab your water, cheers stitchers, and we're going to get started. Amanda, are you guys, Wendy, any of you guys stitching with me so I can make sure to check in, or are you guys just here to kind of watch and you're going to do it later? Let me know, because I want to make sure that I don't leave any stitchers behind. When you get to these patterns, here's how it looks on Ribbler. It can be a little weird. Usually when you get patterns, they're kind of more wordy and in rows. With Amigurumi, they're a little bit more basic and simple like this. So I don't know how well you're able to see this through the screen, but again, you have the link directly in the description, so you can always go back. But we're going to start with the head. And it says the top of the head should become pointy as we continue. So again, you're just going to trust the process. No worries, Wendy. I love it. I love your support. So thank you so much. The top of the head will become pointy. It won't look like it at first, but I'll show you when we get there. Row 1. Here's how it reads. So again, I want you guys to get used to how things read and how to do them. So I'll demonstrate it, of course, but get comfortable with it. 6SC in MR. If you had your symbols up, you would know that's 6 single crochets in a magic ring, and then it also gives you the total amount of stitches right here, which is 6. So we're going to do that together now. To do a magic ring, you're going to hold the cut part of your yarn. I usually like to leave it out here so I can pinch that down later, you'll see. You're going to go along the back side of your hand. I don't need to incorporate my pinky. It's shorter than the rest of my fingers. I don't want to make it worse. So you're going to hold it like so. Cross over the back, cross over the front, and pin it down. Okay? Pin it down. Just makes it easier for you to handle it. Under the first, over the second. And you're going to pull that through and rotate up. Okay? Feel free to slowly fish your fingers out of that. And I pull this tight. Don't pull it all the way tight. Just pull it tight enough where it looks like kind of consistent with a loop, because it's easier to hold, and we're going to work all of our stitches in there. Do a loose chain 1 to start. Trust me, the looser this is, it'll help you when you go to slip stitching it. Actually, I don't even know if we are slip stitching it. It'll help you when you go back into that round on round 2. I have my stitch marker ready, and we are gonna start. So 6 single crochets. Insert your hook, pull up 1, and then you're just going to pull up 2. That is 1 single crochet. You're going to do that 5 more times. We'll go slow. Insert hook, pull up 1, and pull up 2. If anyone has questions, don't hesitate to throw them in the chat. I have it right up here, and I'll be happy to slow down, re-demonstrate, whatever it is. As you can see, we're getting the braids going on there. And that was 4, 5, and 6. Cool. So it should be looking something like that. You're going to take this time to go ahead and pull that tight. This is the part we all like. If you're using fuzzy yarn, because I know I told you guys to use acrylic, but a lot of times people like to translate this to your bulky blanket yarns and stuff like that. That magic ring, you're going to want to pull it tight as you go, because when you come to this, some of these, I hate to say cheaper yarns, but some of these cheaper fuzzy yarns, they will shed and they will snap on you. So it's great, they feel great, and I know why everyone likes to use them, but just be aware that if you don't pull that tight as you go, some people recommend like every 3 stitches, you might even want to do every 2, you're you're going to struggle right there and it might snap and you're going to have to start all over. It's not you, it's the yarn. It can be difficult to work with. Just be patient. Alright, so now we are ready to look at row 2. Where did my, oh, I'm using my hook, dummy. That would be me, not you. Okay, so we did row 1, now row 2. It says INC times 6. What does that mean? It means increasing 6 times. This will leave you with the 12 stitches. So we're going to increase all the way around. If you don't know what an increase is, it's just working 2 stitches into the same stitch. So we're going to be going into this first stitch right here. This is our tail. We pulled that tight. This is our first stitch. That's why I had you chain loosely, because if you didn't, this is going to be getting pulled very tightly and you're not going to know, and it's going to look more like this sideways one right here. So go ahead and grab both those loops. Now you know why I pointed it out, because I need my thumb to get it on there. I'm going to be crocheting over the tail. You don't technically have to. If you're not going to, just leave it behind, because in amigurumi, that's going to become stuffing as you keep going. So work your 2 single crochets into that first stitch, and then don't forget to place your stitch marker in the first one so we know where the first stitch is. Trust me, stitch markers with amigurumi are sanity. So just go ahead and mark that first one. We did 2 in the same stitch, and you're going to go 2 into the next stitch, and in each stitch all the way around. I'm sticking with the same thing though, which is single crochets. We're not changing anything on that front. Increase all the way around. And my yarn is already starting to squeak. What are we going to do? I'm going to do absolutely nothing, because that's just the way it is. Amigurumi, yeah, if that bugs you, like, please don't do amigurumi. You're probably going to fight it a lot. Or just get used to it. Put on headphones. I don't know. Alright, so we're now back. This is why I always use your stitch marker, because I don't have to technically count. You should end up with the 12 going around, but we see that this is where we started, because it's nice and easily marked. So use your tools. They're your friend. Row 3. Oh, we just did 2. We're about to start 3. Single crochet around. Again, you'll end with 12 stitches. SC around 12. That one's nice and easy. You're going to remove the stitch marker and you're going to do 1 single crochet all the way around. Amanda, are you stitching with me? Oops, don't do what I did. I just grabbed the wrong string. I just want to make sure that I'm going slow enough where I check in with you if you are. If not, no worries. I'm glad you're here. We're going to mark that first one and go into our next stitch. I'm still stitching over this. It's probably excessive to do this at this point, but it's just there in its habit. So I'm going into each stitch 1 time. Whoa, that's a noise I've never heard. I guess my phone decided to start notifying me of everything. It is starting to curl up. That's just because our stitches shape it that way. That's okay. We're going to flip it inside out in a moment. Right now, just let the yarn do what it needs to do as you're using your tools. You don't need to pull the yarn super tight. You don't need to be like trying to shape it while you go. Let the hook do the work. Your hands will thank you. Trust me. I'm going to cut this because we've already crocheted over it several times, and we are good to get rid of this extra excess. You don't need it. Let's make it easier. So now I'm just gonna slowly start doing this, because when you're doing amigurumi, you're always on the outside of your project looking in. So this is the outside and we're looking in. You should always be facing that way. So as you get enough where you can actually comfortably flip it out and still stitch into it easy, that's when you want to flip it. Okay, perfect, Amanda. Thanks for letting me know. If you have any questions along the way, don't hesitate. I'm here for you. Here for you. What color are you doing your chameleon in? Alright, we have plenty of slack. And we just completed row 3. So now we're going to move on to row 4. This one is where you start seeing parentheses. And what the parentheses means is that you're going to do what's inside those parentheses times that amount of times. So we're going to single crochet, and then you're going to increase. And you're going to do that 6 times. Single, increase, single, increase, single, increase. That will leave you with 18 stitches in the round. So, what's up, Shayna? Welcome, welcome. So if that's overwhelming, that's okay. We're going to demonstrate it now, but hopefully that's starting to make sense. So our first stitch is that single. So single crochet, place your stitch marker. Little late, I was making ranch dip. I love it. I love it. That's funny. Oh, ranch dip sounds good. What are you putting the ranch dip in? Veggies? Are you being good? Or are you being bad? Pizza? I don't know. All the things. So we did a single crochet. Now we're going to increase. So that's the 2 and 1. That was 1 parentheses set. Back to single. Back to increase. So we've now done that twice. Back to single, back to an increase. That's our 3rd repeat. Hopefully by now that's making sense. We're going to keep repeating it. Single, increase. That's our 4th repeat. Single, increase. That's our 5th repeat. And for our 6th, single, increase. And again, you should have 18 stitches. If you're like, what do you mean by 18 stitches? I'm new. I don't understand that. Cool. No worries, because I know people will be there. What you're doing is you're counting. And if you want to double check, you always can pause, loosen this, take out your hook, and you can double count. Each one of these represents a stitch. It looks like a braid. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. And I should have 18 stitches. I have 18 stitches, so we are good to keep moving forward. That's how you can always double check. I don't do that every row. I'm being honest. Ooh, chicken strip, Shayna. That sounds great. And yes, Amanda, using multicolor. I love the multicolors and so much amigurumi. But this is the one thing that I knew would actually show well in the video camera, so we're sticking with a boring gray today. But yes, have fun. Do all the colors. Do all the colors when you guys make these at home. Can't wait to see what you guys are doing. Let me know in the comments what colors you guys are doing. Maybe there's some ideas that I can steal. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Alright, so now your last stitch should have been an increase. Again, you should have 18. And we're going to move on to row 5. Row 5. We have 5 single crochets, comma, 4 increases, comma, 9 single crochets. So we're going to do the 5 singles first, then you're going to do 4 increases, then you're going to do 9 singles. That will leave you with 22 stitches. I know that sounds like a lot, but we'll go slow. The banana bread was amazing. Nice, Jessica. I'm so glad you're here. You're going to have to post that in our Discord. Post the banana bread recipe because I might need to make banana bread. I haven't done it, and I have a bread machine, so I'm super excited. I'm super excited to do it. Alright, so now we're going to work first thing first. Don't overwhelm it. 5 single crochets. Take off your stitch marker. We're going to do 5 single crochets. Make sure after your first one, you place that stitch marker back. Let's practice good practices. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. This is where we're going to start our 4 increases. Again, just 2 stitches into the 1. Here's our first one, increase. Boom. Here's our second increase. Boom. Here's our third. And our fourth. Alright. Now we have the 9 single crochets. And just in case you're like me and I'm like, ooh, I want to make sure I'm doing it right before I commit to the rest of those stitches, you'll see I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then my stitch marker. Perfect. We're right on track. That is how it should be. So go ahead and do your 9 single crochets. Is anyone else one of those that they're like, I obsess about knowing whether or not I'm on track before I commit to doing those? Yes. Yes. This is the ADHD crafting brain. Like, you have to like think 5 steps ahead just to, before you even like start, right? It's terrible. It's terrible. Why do we do this to ourselves? Perfect. And we've just completed row 5. Good. All right, so let's keep continuing. You're noticing these rows are going to get complicated. Don't worry, we'll work through that together. But for row 6, we have 9 singles, 2 increases, 11 singles. That'll take us to 24 stitches. So I'll break it down. And again, Amanda, I know I'm picking up pace a little bit, so you let me know if I need to slow down for you. Because this is where, like, keeping track of all the counts are different. So we're going to start with the 9 singles. 1, place your stitch marker. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Alright, you ready for those 2 increases? The next 2 stitches are going to have 2 in each. So here's our first increase. 1 stitch, back into the same one for 2. Here's our second increase. There we go. And 11 single crochets should be left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Perfect. I can check out. We're good. Grace, how are you? Welcome in. Glad you made it. Are you going to be doing a chameleon too? Do I need to catch you up? Oops, I just almost went into the same stitch there. That's bad. Way to not pay attention, Jen. I know it doesn't look like it's going to be the head of a chameleon, but it will. This is the part that is said. Trust the process. Trust the process. Well, welcome home, Grace. Did you have a hard day at work? Hopefully it wasn't crazy. Hopefully it wasn't crazy. Row 7's going to be nice and simple. I like it when it's nice and simple, right? SC around. Hopefully you guys can see that. 24 stitches. So we're going to single crochet around 24 stitches. She's like, nah, I'll watch. And that's awesome. Awesome. Do you have any big plans for the 4th? Alright. Single crochet all the way around. Oops, I didn't mark the stitch marker. That could have been bad. That could have been bad. Oh, hubby to physical therapy? Hopefully he's doing good. Physical therapy can be crazy. What's up, Adelina? Welcome in, guys. Good to see my regulars. I love it. I love it. We're just still working 1 single crochet in each stitch all the way around. Amanda, are we still on the same page? You're still with me? I didn't lose you? And if anyone's new here, welcome in. I do a weekly live class every Thursday, 2 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. They all are available for replay, so if you ever join late or you want to just catch up after the fact, they will all be under the Get Hooked playlist. I always have that linked. It should take you there at the end of the videos. But yeah, there's a lot of tutorials you guys can get on my channel, so I really hope you'll take advantage of it. I just love to teach crochet, and if there's anything you guys are looking for specifically, I love hearing about it. We do projects of the week. We have a Discord. That link is pinned in the chat. It's free. We coordinate, we collaborate, we do all the things. We do all the things. So you're in a good place if what you're looking for is a lot of other stitch addicts like yourselves. Welcome in. You had to watch this process. No worries, no worries. It can be kind of crazy. All right, so we just finished row 7. Amanda, I'm going to keep going. I hope you're good. I hope you're holding up. Let's see. Row 7. No, we're starting row 8. Sorry, forgive me. We just finished row 7. So this one is the one that catches a lot of people off guard. It's not super difficult, but when you read it, it sounds crazy. It says 12 single crochets or until you reach the top of the head. Then you're going to go through both sides with 5 single crochets. So I'm going to walk you through that because it can sound crazy. Just whenever something gets overwhelming in a pattern, break it down. We're not going to worry about how crazy the rest started. We're going to start with the 12 single crochets because we know how to do that. So start your 1, Place your stitch marker. And let's do our 12 singles. So 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh. Let's redo 5. Oh my goodness, let's not redo the same thing though. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Take a sip of water. So we've done our 12 singles, and then it says to go through both sides. So what does that mean? We're going to be working through this side. We're going to be working through these ones and these ones, and we're going to bring it together. So what I do is I want to count out. This is, Adelina, this is a stitch counter. Or I'm sorry, it's a row counter is what I'm using it as, but it's also a stitch counter. So every time I finish a row, I'm hitting it, and it reminds me which one we've just completed. So when you're doing bigger projects or when you're talking a lot like I am and it's easy to get lost, those things can be lifesavers, especially if you have a distracting environment like kids. I'm just saying, as a mom, you know. Alright, so since I know I'm going to be doing 5 singles, I want to make sure I have 10 stitches to go into. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's going to be our first set. And then I'm going to match it up to the back side. So here's our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now what I'm going to do is make sure that I'm going into, you guys don't have to use this, I'm just trying to use it so you guys can see it. Hopefully it would look a lot less chaotic. So I'm going to go into the first one, and since I already know where that one's at, and into the second one. We're going to be single crocheting here, 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 and here. That's how we get that point. So, no different than any other single crochet, you're just working in 4 loops instead of the 2. Okay, hopefully that made sense. So, single crochet, 1, 2, go through all 4, 3, go through all 4, 4, and our last one is a little bit hard to grab, but just grab what you can. You'll usually end up with something like that on the side, but you're grabbing those 4 and work your last single crochet. Now the pattern wants you to leave a long tail. I'm going to tell you personally, I had better luck sewing with the other tail. So with sewing from a long tail on another piece. So we're going to keep that one kind of short. You can cut it, and to fasten off, you're going to pull through one more time, but this time you're pulling all the way through. Pull it tight. Now, if you want to cheat and make things simple, I just reach my hook in here. I'm going to grab a smaller hook, actually. But I like to pull that yarn through because we don't need it. So I'm going to fish that through on the inside. It will become stuffing. And boom. Pull that down. That is the start of our head. So this is what started to look like kind of a fish head. So we're going to set this aside. Boop. That's just going to go right there for right now. And we need to make now, we're going to make this section. Ooh. We're going to make this. So we got to make 2 of them because we've got 2 eyes. And it will tell you, so if you're ever in a pattern, she does a really good job in this. Eyes, using safety eyes, we'll include those afterwards, times 2. That means you're making 2, 6 single crochets in magic ring, MR. Or, for bigger eyes, 6 half doubles in MG, which should be magic ring. She has a typo. No worries, it happens to the best of us. What is this all? Leave a long tail short, depending on if you want to sew. Put the safety eyes in the center. I use the eye. Did that. Put it into the head between the rounds. Okay, I just wanted to see if it said anything different. I've made this so many times now that I'm like, meh. I'm going to do the half double crochets. I recommend the half doubles. I feel like when I've done that, it looked a little bit better than doing the single crochets. Plus, if you don't have safety eyes and you want to still make this, what I would do is do the half doubles for this part, and then I would do extra ones in black or contrasting color and do single crochets for the inside, and those will be your 2 layers for the eyes. Hi there, Elizabeth. Good to see you. Liz. For everyone that was on YT, it was Liz's birthday on the 1st. So, just in case you didn't get a chance on TikTok, I'm doing that so backwards. But now you can wish it to her on YouTube. So, there you go. So again, we're doing a magic ring. Crisscross applesauce. Over the top. I'm sorry, under the top. Over that second one. Pull through and turn up. Go ahead and pull that tight so you can stitch into it without losing your mind. A loose chain to get us started. No different. And we're going to do 6 half double crochets. Yes, happy birthday. Alright, to do the half doubles, yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up 1. You should have 3 loops on the hook. It looks like a double crochet. This is where it changes. You're going to pull through all 3 loops. That's why it's a half double and not a double. And we're going to do that 5 more times. Pull through 1, pull through all 3. Pull through 1, pull through all 3. And you should do that until you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Alright, you're going to pull this nice and tight, and this is done. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into the first loop. You're going to slip stitch, and now we can fasten off. To fasten off, leave a decent long tail. You are going to be sewing these to the face when we're done. So you want enough space to put a needle in and go back and forth, you know, with the seams. So you want just maneuverability. Once you cut that, hold on, grab the right one, Jen. Pull through one last time, all the way out. And make another one. And this is where if you make a smaller one with single crochets in a black, and you lay it on top of it, that's how you can make this, and then you sew those all together onto the face. That's how you can do it without safety eyes. I'm going to use safety eyes. I love all the happy birthdays. You guys are awesome. I love it. Hope you're following along. Yeah, ask questions if you have any. Absolutely. I've got one person stitching with me. Grace is going to wait until later. She actually said she was just going to watch, but I'm telling her she needs to make it. So anyway, alright guys, one more. We're going to do one more. Crisscross. Under the first. Over the second. Pull through. Pull this tight. Not all the way because you are going to stitch into it. That was like the worst magic ring I've ever done. It's alright. Loose chain and 6 half double crochets again. That first one's a little wonky. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Alright, pull that tight. Again, we're slip stitching by just grabbing those 2 loops and pull through all of them. If you want to pull through this time before you cut, you can. Some people feel a little safer that way. And then you finish pulling that through. It's just different ways to do it. Both are correct. Alright, so we've got our 2 eyes. I probably should have not pulled these as tight. I think you would have learned after doing this 5 times already, Jen. But I didn't. My safety eyes are a little larger, so that ring, if I pull this too tight, getting the eyes in there can be a little hard. So if that's the case, just, you know, do what I did. Loosen it back up, and we can do our safety eyes. Alright. Safety eyes. These ones so far are my favorite, and I have the link in the link tree. I do need to get bigger ones just because I feel like every time you buy safety eyes in a bigger size, it's really hard to use any of the smaller ones because they just make it, they make the little critters look so cute. Like, just so much cuter. The bigger the eyes, the better. I don't know. Maybe everyone has a different opinion, but that is how I feel about it, and that is what I'm sticking with. These ones have the glitter backgrounds. I'm going to do silver to match the gray. I know it's a little monochromatic, but it looks kind of fun. Looks kind of fun. The glitter can be a really cool way to add touch. I will probably be getting a lot more of these. And this was actually really good bang for my buck. I can't remember. I think this was like less than $7. It might have been even more less. It might have even been less than that. But the link is in my link tree. Yes, it's an affiliate link. You guys know the drill with all that. But these are really good. And these are the 12 millimeter. Yep, 12 millimeters. So a little bit bigger. I will be getting bigger ones after this. How does the glitter work? I've never used this before. I'm so glad you guys asked. Technically, there's a perforated hole that you guys can't see there, kind of like a hole punch. You're just going to put this, line it up, and you're going to pop that through. That'll come out. If this comes off, you can just set that aside. It's garbage. You don't need it. So that will go flush to the eye like so. I'll show you again on the other one just in case I might have wiggled out of frame there. Sorry about that. You're going to insert that into the center. And you know what I might do? Notice how this is kind of curling a lot? Good idea is just to go ahead. We can sew this in afterwards. It doesn't matter. And flip it. Because now it'll actually reverse and it won't curl as much. So you can use the back side. We'll use a yarn needle and we can pull that through after. But one way is just to play around with which one doesn't hide the eye as much. Try switching sides. This back just goes right on as such. As you can see, the cup, it's cupping down. And you're going to hear it click. That's when it's locked. So that's why there's safety eyes, is they're supposed to not fall out and not become a choking hazard. So that's why they're perfect. Jen, whoa. I was lost on row 5. How can I help? Casey, you got, let's see, where are you at? Row 5. I will help you out. Did you do the 5 singles? And then 4 increases? And then 9 singles? So I can totally keep helping you out. 5 singles. Whoops. 4, I'm trying to write it down, increases. And then 9 singles. I put that in there. You let me know. I'm going to keep doing the eyes and you let me know because I can totally help you out. And we're not going to lose you. We're not going to lose you. Again, you guys, here's our eye. No color yet. Take your glitter. That needs to face the front. Punch that through. It should not be difficult because it's already got the perforated. If you got good ones, it should already be perforated. Take out that little tab. Casey, let me know if that helps. Let me know if that helps. Was it Casey or Wendy? Yeah, I got you guys. You guys are awesome. I wish I had the Jane bot. So on TikTok, I have the thing that actually speaks out all the chat. So again, if it's curling up, you may want to flip it and make that your front instead. Just because it will not hide the eye as much. But then again, it is yours. You do with it as you want. And we're going to snap those on. You should hear it. And then pull our center ring tight again because I know we loosened it. The good news is, as we keep going, I'm going to be doing a lot of stuff that's kind of tedious and you don't really need to see it. So you should have plenty of time to catch up. So let me know as you need help. Because we're going to start sewing. This is the part that not many people like. I'm aiming for this, this is kind of not really a row. It's a row. So 1, 2, 3. I'm aiming between the 3rd and the 4th right there. I'm going to probably put my eye right there. And then if you want a trick, you can kind of do that. But I can tell you it's not always a surefire win because I might actually end up going there. But it'll help you kind of see if you're doing it even. I have tried putting these through all the layers and then popping it. It tends to pull the yarn really tight when you're going through that much yarn. So you may want, You can play with it if you want. I've tried it. I hated it every time. So definitely go the extra step. Yes, it will prevent you, because if you snap these on here, you technically don't have to sew the eyes on. But when I did that, it pulled through like really far, and then it actually hid the eye, because then you had all this going like that. So just food for thought. I've tried it. I tried to be smarter, not, work smarter, not harder, and I kind of failed. So my suggestion to you is to take the extra step. And yes, it stinks that we're sewing on more than we want. But don't be lazy. That's the quality. That's where you get quality. This is that first one. This is technically the magic ring. I just want to get this to the other side. Boom. This one I'm not going to use to sew it on because it's not very long and I want to have room to work with. So I'm just going to work this into the back just to secure it. I'm not doing anything fancy. I have my yarn needle. I'm just hiding it. Nothing crazy. You don't even need to, it's a small piece. The likelihood of it coming out is like so slim to none. So just go around until you feel pretty like safe. You can even go back on yourself. You don't need to make it super crazy. This is going to be all hidden. And if you really want, like back and forth usually is what locks in the yarn. So if you do that, and then you can go ahead and cut it. So now what we're going to do is we kind of see where we liked it. Is we're going to do that, and then I'm going to use this yarn to sew it on. Sewing on, when it comes to amigurumi, is tedious. I know a lot of people are like, oh my god, I can't do that, blah, blah, blah. It's tedious. Okay, so Casey, you're ready for round 6. 6 is similar. 6 single crochets. I'm typing it too. Oh, wait. Yeah. Nope. 9 single crochets. 9 single crochets. Forgive me. Row 6. 9 single crochets. Then you're going to do 2 increases. Yay! I love it. And then 11 single crochets. Okay. So sewing is always the part everyone hates. I'm sorry. There's no easy way around it. Just go slow. Go slow and hold things in place. If you need Ami sticks, if you've never heard of those, I can show you what they are. I haven't been using them for this project because I feel like it's easier to hold the eyes with my hand. But as you can see, I'm just going up, down. I'm finding where it makes sense to I try to get it into these segments so it leaves this free, because if you tie that down, you might create dimples and things like that you don't want. You're just going to fish the needle into the right place from the back side, and you'll just sew this on. It's not the most fun part, not the most exciting, but this is where everything starts taking on a life form, and it's worth it. So take your time, get it right. If you guys want to save this for the last part, like if you're falling behind and you're like, I just want to catch up, this is the part I would skip, because you can always do this once class is over, and start working on the body. I'm doing it now because it's going to buy you guys time to catch up. Did everyone stretch before class? I don't know if we did, Tabitha, but we do have a lot, so I don't know if we're going to today. Oh, but God bless Tabitha for taking care of our hands and our wrists. I need to be better at that. I'm going to remember that next week, Tabitha. You are the best. You are the best, because I would like to try to get the body before we do the rest next week. Alright, so we've now gone all the way around the eye. And I'm just going to tie the knot on the back side. And you should have something that looks like that. You can always turn this inside out if you need room to see. And to tie a knot is not going to be anything super fancy. I'm just going to find a close loop. I'm going to go through it, not all the way. And then I'm going to go back through that yarn and pull it tight. Boom. I'll do that twice just because it wasn't a super tight knot, so it didn't really lock, I can tell. Grab that before you pull it all the way through, and you're good. I know, just ask me. Oh, yeah, you've been injured enough for all of us, so we definitely appreciate it, Tabitha. Save us from that. Alright, taking a sip of water. How you doing, Casey? Is that one making sense? Good. Alright, row 7, just single crochet around. Nice and easy. Single crochet in every single stitch. you should have 24 again, because you're not increasing, you're not decreasing. You're just going to do one single all the way around. That's row 7. And let me just make sure. Da, 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 da. Alright, perfect. Alright, we're going to sew this one on too. Again, this one was our magic ring, so I'm just going to throw this to the back side and kind of hide it in. Nothing special. Get it to the back side by just going through. And then we're just, oop, it didn't go through all the way. And then we're just going to hide it. We're going to hide it and go back and forth a couple times before we sew with the other strand it to the head. Boom. And you can go back and forth many times if you're a paranoid stitcher like I can be. I'm always worried that things are going to come apart, so I always do like kind of extra. Trust me, like some people do so little. They're like, oh, it'll be fine, it's never come out on me. I'm like, I feel like I would be the person that it would. So I go a little extra when it comes to some of the sewing and the securing. Okay, and so now I kind of had guessed there. I feel like I might have made the eyes a little bit high. You can always make them lower if you want, but this is where, you know, just kind of like feel it out. Kind of stuff the head a little bit with your fingers from behind just so you can see where the eyes kind of lay. And then that's where you're going to sew it. That's where you're going to sew it. I'm going to go to the back side. And we're going to go through there. Again, be patient. This is the not so fun part. We'll go, I don't think, I'm going to go right there and just work your way around. That may not have been the best place to put that, but that's okay. It's okay. And if that stitch marker is getting in the way, you technically can remove it because we're done counting stitches for this piece. Just honestly, out of habit, I left it on. Alright. You are done. So now I want you, this is the next row where it's weird. You're not going to go all the way around. So start with 12 single crochets. And then when you're there, that's when you're going to count and you're going to fold it in half and you're going to stitch into both of them for 5 single crochets. So first, do 12 single crochets. It'll take you around. Then you'll do the fold in half, 5 across. I hope that makes sense because it's a really, it's kind of, it's a new concept for a lot of people. I know it caught me off guard when I first did this pattern. What eyeball am I sewing on? It's that one. Okay. And I haven't gone all the way around. That's what I thought. That's what I thought. And I am going to take this stitch marker off. And then we will start the body. Yeah, I already gave her the next one. Casey, did that make sense though? Because I know that one's the part that a lot of people get hung up on. Wendy, you're the best. Thank you for making sure I don't miss anything. And again, just to secure it, grab a strand. That's close. And before you pull that all the way through, go back. Boom. Go back and boom. This can just become more stuffing, so don't feel the need to cut it. Just leave it in there. It's probably better anyway because it's more likely to stay secure. So Casey, did that part make sense? I wanted to grab something to show you what that would look like. No. Let's see. Something that would make sense, Jen. Okay, so let's pretend... Sorry, I have a bunch of, like, scrap projects. So if you had the round and you went your 12 stitches around... Let's pretend this is your head as you have it, and you went your 12 stitches around. Then what you're going to do is you've done your last stitch here. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you're going to start stitching your single crochets, your next 5 single crochets as such. So you'll work your first single there, your next one here, all the way until you get your last one, which will be right here, and then you'll fasten off. So Casey, I hope that made sense. And if it didn't, let me know. I want to make sure you're good to go. Alright, for everyone else, we are going to start the body. But I'm going to go kind of slow, hoping that Casey will be able to catch up. Okay, let's set that aside. And who else was stitching with me? I can't remember. Yay! Okay, good, Casey. I was worried. So, do you want to wait to do your eyes and start the body with us, and then you can go back and do the eyes after? Because we're not going to connect the body probably until tomorrow. Not tomorrow, next week, sorry. I'll show you guys how to connect the body. We'll make the tail, and we'll do the legs all next week. So let's go ahead and get you on the body, and then you can go back and do the eyes afterwards. Big delay. That's what your page is for, build a community. Yeah, I try to build a community. I do the best I can. I love it. Okay. Yes, alright, Casey, so good. That'll put you right with us. So now we're going to start the body, and you know this because if you're reading the pattern, again, I want you guys to feel comfortable reading patterns. I want you guys to learn this stuff because there's so many things out there to make. I can't teach it to you all, and I don't want anything to hold you guys back from stitching everything you desire. Body, it'll tell you. You're going to start row 1, 6 single crochets into a magic ring. So we're starting the exact same way that we did. Magic ring again. Hold that yarn, crisscross applesauce, and go over the... Pin that. Under, over, and pull through. Tighten that a little bit so you don't lose your mind. I feel like that needs to be a sticker too. Keep this first chain loose, and we're going to do the 6 single crochets. 3, 4, 5, and 6. Boom. Here's the fun part, pulling it tight. And let's go ahead and reset our stitch count, or our row counter. We're on row 1. You're going to go right back into this one because we're going to start our second row. Where's my pointer? Second row, increase 6 times, leaving you with 12 stitches. So it's so far it's starting the exact same way. So the good news is, you guys, this is not your first rodeo now. You're going to be like feeling pretty confident. But don't forget that stitch marker on that first stitch. My dog is whining. I'm sure you hear her in the background. I am sorry. Dad just got home, so she wants to go out there and say hi. I don't feel like getting up to let her out. She'll be fine. She can wait a little bit. Here's your other increase. So you're doing an increase all the way around. That's 2 stitches in each stitch all the way around. Here we go again. 1, 2, and 1, 2. Oh, Wendy, thank you so much. That means the world to me. It really does. It really does. Let's just keep making it a freaking awesome Crow-munity. Oh, absolutely, Olivia. I'll totally get to it. Thank you for messaging me. First off, the cord is probably the best way at this point to get in touch with me. We're going to save ourselves some sanity. Feel free to cut that if you want. Get it out of the way. It's secure. We're good. And we're going to start row 3. Row 3, again, no surprise. We're doing the parentheses again. Pay attention, those things matter. 1 single, 1 increase. And it's saying to do that repetition 6 times. You're going to end up with 18 stitches. So single increase, single increase, single increase, single increase. Say that 10 times fast. Drink your water. Cheers. Single. Place your stitch marker. And increase. Single. Increase. That was 2 repeats. Single. Increase. That's our 3rd. Single. Increase. That's our 4th. Single. Increase. That's 5. Single. Increase. That's 6. There is something going on downstairs. I am hearing the kids, the kid and my husband, who's the grown-up kid, doing something. I have no idea what. I don't know if you guys can hear it in the background, but it is funny. This mic sometimes picks up a lot, so wouldn't surprise me. Alright. We are now going to row 4. So this part, we have 12 rows, just to give you an idea of where we're at. So you guys know, I know we run a little bit long. We're running a little bit long than our normal class, but I really want to try to get you guys through most of this so we can keep going, and that way you guys don't have to worry about 3-week class, but instead you can just do this in 2 weeks. So we have our parentheses again. 3 single crochets followed by an increase. So that is single, 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 increase. You're going to do that repeat 4 times. You will be left with 2 stitches afterwards, and we'll do 2 single crochets. I'll walk you through this, so don't panic. This will leave you with 22 stitches. This is the last crazy row for a little bit, so good news is we're about to get a breather. But let's start with our 3 singles followed by an increase. Coda, my love. Doggy, come here. Lay down. Crazy dog is just like a toddler. So here's our first single. Place your stitch marker. Good habits, good habits. Here's the second and the 3rd single. Now we're due for our increase. So 1, 2. We're going to repeat that again. So 3 singles, 1, 2, 3. Now our increase. 2 stitches in 1. That was 2 repeats. Hopefully you guys are with me and it's helping you guys keep track. Here's our 3rd repeat. 1, 2, and 3. And here's our increase. 3 singles again. Oh! Don't drop a stitch. Don't drop the stitch. And then our increase. And look at that. Here's the 2 stitches we have left, just like we were told. So now you're going to do 2 single crochets. 1 and 2. Perfect. Did I lose anyone? Are we good? Are we good? Oops, we forgot to hit our stitch marker. That finished row 4. Now the good news is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 are all super easy. We're just going to do single crochet all the way around. So single crochet around, 22 stitches. 4, 5. Do you hear my dog? Do you hear my dog? Alright, so we just finished row 4. We're good. We marked that. We're starting row 5. Single crochet all the way around. This is where I get to check out. So this is a good chance. If you guys have any questions you've held off asking, this is your moment, because I can just go on autopilot. If anyone needs me to repeat anything or whatever, I am all yours right now. This is where I'm like, ooh, 1 stitch around, I can do this with my eyes shut. Literally, I can. I'm looking at you guys while I'm stitching. I can do this with my eyes shut. So, this is your moment. This is your moment. This is your moment. But I am tending to go really fast at this point. So when we get there, please, for those of you that are stitching with me, flag me down if I need to repeat anything. Casey, you see me. I will not leave you behind. I will not leave any stitcher behind. Oh, good times, good times. And if you guys are new, welcome in. If someone showed up late, don't worry. This will drop and be available for replay as soon as we are done going live. We are going to finish the Chameleon next week. This was going to be a 2, possibly a 3 class, but I think we are keeping it to 2 classes. I also have all my previous classes. They are available for replay, so there's tons of tutorials available. It's all in the Get Hooked playlist. That link is in the description below. Boom! We just completed row 5, so I'm going on to single crochet around all again. But we do a weekly class every Thursday, 2 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. And if there's things you want to learn, put it in the comments. If there's things that you are looking for that you have always struggled with, put it in the comments. I'll totally throw a class together for my students. I mean, you guys actually have picked a majority of all the projects that we have worked on, so I love it. I love it. I'm here for you guys. I'm here for all of it. I just like crocheting and hanging out with other people that enjoy crocheting. And don't forget about the Discord. We do have that link. It is pinned in the chat. That is free. There's a ton of stitchers in there. We collaborate. We help each other, like with different. We inspire each other with different patterns. There's a lot of things getting thrown around in there. It's a place to brag about your current projects. We just finished row 6. We are starting row 7. Again, it's just single crochet around. We're in autopilot right now. We're in autopilot. You don't have another PhD? What do you mean PhD? But you are totally down to ask me any questions, Amanda. If I need to repeat anything, I will. You know I'll take care of you. And you don't need a PhD to do crochet. I hope that's not what you're referring to. Oh my goodness. And don't worry, because we're not finishing this whole thing today. We're gonna finish this next week, so you'll have plenty of time to get right back on board with whatever you need to. You totally got this, Amanda. See, listen to Liz. Listen to Liz. You got this. PhD. You crack me up. You guys are so funny. Project half done. Yes, Grace. We will be half done. It will be an official other whip to add to my entire collection of whips. Let's not mention how many whips. Oh my god. I don't even know how many whips I officially have. I hide them all very well. And I keep adding to them. It's cool though. It's kind of like ADHD is like a requirement to be a crafter. Like I feel like you need it. And finishing projects, I don't know who out there actually is like diligently finishing every project before they start a new one. If you guys are out there and you actually are those people, like props to you. Props to you. I can't do it. I can't do it. I get bored. I get bored. I jump around. It's cool. We're just different people. It's fine. It's fine. Alright, we just finished another row. We're starting row 9. This will be my last row of single crochets. So Casey, if you're still with me, let me know. I just don't want to lose you. And I can always repeat like I did before too. So if you want me to keep going ahead, that's cool. I'll just keep you on track. Just let me know when you're done with row 9, which is your last row of single crocheting all the way around. Adelina, did you add a stitch counter to your shopping list? I know you've been collecting a list of things that you've got to get. You crack me up. Alright, we just finished row 9. Boom. Alright, here's row 10, just so you guys are seeing it. Again, our parentheses come back. We have 9SC followed by DEC. That is short for decrease. So we're going to do 9 singles, then you're going to decrease, and I'll show you guys how to do that. You're going to repeat this 2 times, leaving you with 20 stitches. Awesome, awesome. Alright, so let's start with our 9 singles. Place your stitch marker. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Now there are 2 ways to do a decrease. I'm going to show you the way that I started doing amigurumi with, and then I'm going to show you the invisible decrease, which is what I totally would recommend, but sometimes it can feel a little overwhelming. One way to do a decrease is to start your single crochet in one stitch, start it in the next stitch, and then pull through all of them. That will effectively take these 2 stitches and turn it into this 1 stitch. That's why you're decreasing. You're taking 2 and becoming 1, where 2 become 1. So that is one way. Why do I not like this as much as an invisible decrease? Because as you keep going, this hole is going to start becoming a little bit bigger, and it'll leave some uneven gaps in your project. No big deal. A lot of people do it. That's not a big problem, but some people really despise it. Like, when you start creating a lot of items, you start pinpointing these things. So if you want to do an invisible decrease, it's huge. It's cleaner. It's just cleaner. You're not going to see it. It's really nice. You've got front loops and back loops. This is your front loop. This is your back loop. We're going to be working in this front loop and in this front loop just for this stitch. So the invisible decrease, you're going to grab the front loop. You're not going to grab the yarn yet. You're going to go back under and grab the other front loop. And keep this loose. If you pull that too tight, you'll hate it the next row when you have to crochet into it. Pull through all 3 loops. That is an invisible decrease. And notice you now have these loops kind of filling in that gap. That's why that gap doesn't become an issue like it does if you don't do this technique. We're going right back into our repeat. So 9 singles and then another decrease. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. We have 2 stitches left. That's just what we need for a decrease, so that's perfect. We did something right. Here we go again. Front loop. Reach over to grab the next front loop. You're on row 9 now. Okay, perfect. Are you done with row 9? No, you're on it. And decrease. Whoa! I get spammers, dude. They don't leave me alone. You have no idea how many times I've turned that off and blocked them. Alright. Row... Ooh, wait, that was row 10? Yeah, that was row 10? Yes, okay. Row 11. Row 11 looks like this. 3 singles, decrease. That's in parentheses, so we're repeating that 4 times, taking you to 16 stitches. So here we go. 1, place your stitch marker. 2, 3. Here's our decrease. Again, invisible decrease is what I'm sticking with. Front loop, next front loop, keep that loose, pull through. Boom. 1, 2, 3, and then a decrease. So Casey, row 9 was the last row of single crochets around, so let me know when you're on row 10. Boom, there's our decrease. 1, 2, 3, front loop, decrease. Alright, do 9 singles, then a decrease, followed by 9 singles, then a decrease. You're going to do that twice. So 9 singles, decrease. 9 singles, decrease. And if you don't know how to do a decrease, I can show you right here. I'm going to show you the invisible decrease. Grab the front loop only. Grab the front loop only. Pull through all 3 loops. Keep that chain or that loop loose. And boom, we just finished that row. 11. Okay, this is where it tells us to stuff the body. I'm going to do that real quick. I know we didn't stuff the head. You can do that afterwards. And we're not sewing them together today. That's okay. That'll let everyone get a chance to really catch up before we go into it next week. But I don't want this to get too hard to throw stuffing in here, because when you start getting the hole too small, yes, I realize what all of this starts to sound like, it can be really hard to stuff it. And I don't want that to be something that we're fighting. So this is a good place to stuff it. But you don't need to go crazy, because you're probably going to stuff it more as you go. It's just always what happens. I feel like you're never done stuffing amigurumi. Like, you always like, oh, let's throw in a little bit more. Let's see how this looks. So that's okay. That's okay. It's your stuffy. You can do what you want. Alright. Alright. Boom. We've stuffed it. And then row 12, which is the last row, is going to be 2 singles, decrease. You're repeating that 4 times, taking you to 12 stitches. It tells you in this pattern to fasten off with a short tail. I'm going to fasten off with a long tail because this is the tail that I prefer to sew the head to the body with. Alright. 2 singles and a decrease. I just already forgot. So grab it. I push the stuffing down as I go. Here's our first single. Place your stitch marker. Boom. Here's our second single. And decrease. Front loop, and there we go. 1 single, 1 single, front loop to do our decrease. 1 single, 1 single, decrease. And lastly, 1 single, 1 single, and decrease. Did I get the whole? Yeah, okay. Boom. This is where we are now wrapped up. Listen to that squeak. Oh, you can hear it. That's terrible. Tabitha, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for any of those who can't stand the squeaking. To fasten off, again, I'm going to do a long tail on this one because I am going to be sewing the head to the body next week with this. But at least you know, words are hard, now know what to do. So you should have this and this. You can go ahead and stuff the head. When all is said and done, you should have something that looks like this. And you're going to set all this aside, and we're going to finish it all next week. So next week we're going to sew on the arms, we're going to sew the head to the body, we're going to sew on the arms, and then we're going to walk through the tail. The tail is a tedious process, I'm not going to lie. It's a little bit tedious. You have like 19 rows of 6 single crochets. It's evil. It's going to be great. We're going to do it together. But you're going to want a pipe cleaner for that. So if you guys have the pipe cleaner, definitely go get them. You've got a week to do it. And if you want to jump ahead, you can sew these together. You're literally just going to whip stitch it. I'll show you guys how to do it next week. But you're going to whip stitch these all together. They should line up fairly well. I like to bring, let's see, do I do that? Which way did I do the body? No. I like to do the top part where we fastened off and match it up with this part right here. Because then it kind of creates the hump and it like shapes the body really well. And the neck will get smaller once you sew it, so it'll look even more pronounced like you see it here. But I will show you all that next week. So awesome. Adelina, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I think you guys are amazing, to be honest with you. All right, Casey, I know I'm wrapping up, but the good news is it'll be available for replay. Did you get row 10 done? because I can already, I can tell you what row 11 is, and then you can always hit this up and go to the end and rewatch the very end. Otherwise, again, we'll finish it up next week. You guys have this, just set it aside. Try not, maybe don't let it stare at you. It might freak you out a little bit because it does look like a fish head right now, but it's cool. It's going to look really cute when we're done. And we'll see you next Thursday, 2 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. If I didn't say that, we will wrap this up. Okay, perfect. Casey, your next row 11, 3 singles followed by a decrease. 3 singles followed by a decrease all the way around. After that, you'll do 2 followed by a decrease, and then you're done. But if you need help with that one, this will be available for replay the second I end it. So you're good to go. You're good to go. Casey, thank you so much for being patient with me and letting me make sure you didn't give up on that. And Amanda, I hope you don't either. All you guys, thank you so much for your love and support. I love you guys so much. And again, if you guys have any special requests, definitely throw it in the comments. If you guys finish anything, please post it, tag me. I love to see your guys' projects. I love to see what you guys are able to create. And if you're not comfortable posting it, we've got the cord. It's a private cord. That link is pinned. It's also going to be in the description. Please join. If it's the one in the description tends to expire, so just comment below. I'll send you a new link. But definitely get in there. It's where all us stitchers hang out and collaborate, so I don't want you guys getting left out. Yes, get hooked early and often. Alright, guys, thank you so much again. Grace, thank you so much. I'll see you guys on TikTok. I'm going to take a quick break. We'll be back on that platform again afterwards. So the rest of the afternoon will be on TikTok. I'll also be there tomorrow. I don't know when yet because it is the holiday and I don't know how long I'm going, but I will be on there tomorrow. I will. But if you guys are over on that platform, I'll definitely see you. Otherwise, I will see you next week. Alright, guys, take care. I love you. Take it easy. Bye.